And we're back from commercial break. Wakey here as usual. YouTube land. Back with my second episode, Wakey's Vlogs, on the comeback tour, the comeback COVID tour 2021. Wakey, back in the saddle. I figured I'd come. I told you I'd talk to you about some whale stuff eventually here. But it would seem that lobster fishermen are just taking one thing after another. I've never had to deal with so much bureaucratic bullshit in my life as a lobster fisherman. I mean, we always had to do a little bit of stuff, just like any occupation, business, regulations, you know. But we had the right whale stuff going on. And now there's this big thing going on with green power and windmills, specifically Janet Windmills. Just fits, doesn't it? I mean, whatever. Janet Windmills, let's all say it. Anyway, she wants some green energy. Don't we all want to lower our carbon footprint? Yeah. So they want to put windmills out in the middle of the ocean. Believe it or not, that's concerning to us who work there. It should be concerning to even you friggin' eco-terrorists out there. I mean, there are so many what-ifs with these things that I've been doing a little more research. Like, well, you just Google, well, what are the negative effects of offshore windmills? What is it? You know, what? Well, at first it does kind of destroy animals and habitat, but it eventually becomes so that it doesn't after a year of constructing it. And, yeah, you just got to totally disrupt the entire ecosystem, building it, drilling it. You run a 30-mile cable out to these things in the middle of the ocean, and they produce power. They're out exposed in the middle of the Gulf of Maine, where, believe it or not, it can get pretty shitty in February, blowing about 60 and 30 below zero. One of these things goes offline, it gets destroyed, it breaks, or whatever. I mean, it's not going to be exactly, yeah, okay, let's hop on board and go out and fix that. It's going to be expensive. But it's just, I don't understand the motive. But long story short, there was a protest yesterday off Booth Bay where they're doing survey boat. You'll see a little, I shared a TikTok on it. Fellow TikToker, turn and burn fisheries, something. I'm not doing full edited videos here, else I'd just kind of play clips and make a nice edited video. That's kind of half the problem with making these videos, is I'd take friggin' a week and edit it and dick around and go on, and it would be, it would just be a pain in the ass and time consuming. And anyway, so I'm just gonna go ahead and show you some stuff, right on here. So you get the gist of it. You're probably reading that backwards. Yeah, it'd probably be backwards. Maybe it wouldn't be to you. I don't care. Anyway, go check out the TikTok. But this is actual footage from that protest down in Booth Bay, and this is all on Facebook, getting shared around. And basically, they had to keep the thing secret because if they posted it, if they organized the protest ahead of time, the DMR and everybody else was going to be, Department of Marine Resources, was going to be set off by it and actually let these survey boats, there's a survey boat doing its job yesterday, surveying the bottom to find out where to put this cable and to position these windmills. And basically, if they put the protest out, there was about 100 lobster boats. Some of them traveled over 4 hours and waited and gathered, because this was happening 25 miles offshore, from what I understand, or 20 miles. It was offside. It wasn't like it was up in the bay somewhere. And they all went out and organized, and it's kind of, it's funny because you couldn't have done a protest like this 20 years ago without cameras and YouTube and Facebook and da-da-da-da-da. And because it would have just been, yeah, there's 100 boats out there running around, whatever. Now you can actually see footage and pictures and photos and of what actually took place. Well, what they were doing was actually impeding the work of the survey boat, getting in his way, stopping. There was a 2-mile long train of lobster boats that were, you know, basically a peaceful protest, a way to show. I suggested probably we're going to have to go land right in the goddamn Augusta and do something a little more public, unfortunately, with this whole thing. But they're just protesting these windmills. We have no say in any of it. You know, they're just like, well, can you help us and tell us where you'd put them? Like, that's the say we get. Would you tell us where we can lay the cable down? Yeah, sure. Nowhere would be good, because it's just taking up. What it's gonna do is it's gonna take our bottom out. It's gonna be a turf war. I mean, it's basically a turf war, but I can say that there's other negatives to these windmills that. I mean, I want green energy. I mean, we all, like I said, we want it, but do we want it to ruin ecosystems? And are you going to have birds flying by? You're going to have electromagnetic fields coming off the cables, a lot of power being generated, and they're talking, you can Google it, it affects mammals, dolphins, whales, and eventually it turns into habitat. Well, no shit, you put some you drop a rock on the bottom, it grows seaweed, something goes and hides underneath it. It happens eventually, but they still don't know the effects of those electromagnetic stuff going on. But you're going to have a 32-mile stretch where fishermen have been fishing for generations. Now they can't. So, it's like I said, I mean, it's a turf war to us, yes, but from one human being to another that is for green power, a progression of these ideas and these technologies, it's a fucking stupid idea. It's a dumb idea. You're putting them out in the middle of the ocean, yeah, because nobody wants to look at them. And the only people who are going to look at them are us, and sailboats and yachts and whatever. I mean, that's who's going to see them. You're not going to just be able to drive down the road. See, they wouldn't put them on top of Cadillac Mountain, I bet, because that would be an eyesore. Why isn't there an eyesore in the ocean? They have a bunch of them down here right on the Blueberry Barrens, where I am, down in Cherryfield and the Belois. They're out on the Blueberry Barrens. They're up on hills. I think the cool looking down there, it's called the Blueberry Barrens. It's barren. There's nothing else around anywhere. It's not like you're looking at a goddamn pristine, it's not a mountain or anything, it's just open fields, and there's the windmills. Put them somewhere like that where you can actually get to them and work on them. How many more hundreds of millions of dollars is it going to cost to get these things out there? I mean, I don't know, there's just so many what ifs, and it's just a money grab. Federal money coming in to pay for all this shit. And I don't know, it's almost like there should be a vote on it or something. It's like it's unclaimed land just because no one owns it. I guess the state owns it. I don't know if they're doing it in federal waters. They might even be doing it in federal waters. So we don't even as a people get a vote in it. Is it going to give us free electricity? Is it going to drop our power bills? This is all these concerns that, well, we'll find out when we stick one out there. Well, what do you mean we'll find out when we stick one out there? I don't know. This is the tip of the iceberg with this bullshit, but it's might be a long road, might be a short road. It's probably going to be, well, fuck you. We're throwing some windmills out here. There's all kinds of stuff, and I asked a buddy of mine who fishes out in Cornwall, England, and because they have a bunch of them in Ireland, Scotland. I've heard there's been issues with, they're just dead zones now for lobster fish, for their fisheries. They're just dead zones. You can't get near them, for one thing, but, you know, you'd get your gear tangled into it, lose it, destroy your shit. But I mean, that's where we are right now. We just kind of, there's a lot of what ifs. It's going to be a big money grab because it's all going to be federal grants and bullshit, and it's these big companies that are pushing for it. It's David versus Goliath. Everything we do is David versus Goliath. Like, no joke. We're the underdogs in all this bullshit. We're pushed around. We're $1 billion. Maine lobster fishing is the #1 fishery in the United States. Value. And obviously in the state of Maine, it's a big deal to our state. But it's still nothing compared to these big energy companies worth hundreds of billions of dollars. Or with the right whales, they're getting struck by ships. They have lobbyists, and it's just on and on. How are we supposed to fight these things? I mean, it's awareness. A lot of people, even in our own state, for instance, you know, because you have coastal Maine, don't even know what's going on with this. They wouldn't even think there's a problem. You pick up the Portland Press Herald and you say, oh, well, okay, that's easy enough. Whatever, yeah, put some windmills out in the goddamn ocean. Sounds it's a great idea, right? Whatever. Well, they picked the Portland Press Herald up. If you picked it up today, and I'll try to share a link in this on that, there was an article on the protest. I'll try to share a link for that in the comment section here. Maybe I'll, you know, if you feel like being proactive, just go Google windmill, you know, offshore windmills. I mean, it's, you know, get some information on it. I mean, like I said, I mean, we're all for carbon emissions. A lot of us are. I mean, we're all for saving right whales. This is the insanity behind all of these things. We're not all just sadistic assholes that want to keep the whole ocean for ourselves. We'd like to keep the ocean pristine. God forbid. I think conservationists and all them assholes want to too. We are conservationists. I'm talking about eco-terrorists. Basically domestic terrorists. They want to pit laws against other Americans to affect their livelihoods. I'd call that just about terrorism. I don't do it to anyone else. They shouldn't do it to us. But anyway, I mean, that's what we do. We work on the ocean. We pick the garbage up. We are out there cleaning the oceans. We literally see trash. We pick it up and throw it in a trash can. I mean, we're doing everything we can here. And like I said, it's David versus Goliath all day long. All these goddamn different little nitpicky things, they can come at us and there's nothing we can do. And we don't have the funds available. And we are not unified enough or have the organizations to deal with things of this magnitude. So maybe this is a start. Probably not. Maybe we'll march in Augusta. This is things coming organized here, coming to a head. But we'll see. Now you're slightly aware of it. Maybe you already knew. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you want to share it. Tell everybody. Everybody wants to listen to me fucking run my face. So go share it and tell them. But anyway, until next time, I swear to God, I'm going to put a video out about right whales. I promise. Maybe next time. I'm trying to do like one every Sunday, maybe. Got an interesting tidbit too about some news from yesterday. A buddy of mine got boarded by the Coast Guard, and he's actually a representative. He's a legislator for the state of Maine. Billy Bob Fockenham is his name. And William Robert was out to haul yesterday, lobster fishing. And he got boarded by the Coast Guard. Well, what he did was he got a warning for not wearing a mask. 15 miles offshore with him and his crew. I don't know if he takes 2 men or 1. No mask. Complaint by the Coast Guard. There's the Coasties right there. Whole thing on Facebook. Representative Fockenham. This might be backwards again. Anyway, you see them wearing masks? Any mask on them? No mask. Whatever. Joe Biden's America. Whatever. Whoever the hell's in charge, it doesn't seem to make a goddamn bit of difference on a lot of, when it comes to us poor folk. But, which is 90% of America, whether or not you like to admit it. You can make $100 grand a year and you're still poor. Yeah. No mask. Warning. Lowest COVID cases in the whole world right here in goddamn down East Maine. Anyway. That was another gripe. Thought you guys might get a kick out of that too. But anyway. I wasn't going to make a whole video about that, but that's a good tidbit. We're angry today. We're goddamn angry. Go out and share it, guys. Make some awareness. Tell me what you think. Go check out the TikTok video. Reshare that one. Okay, guys. Catch you later.